Hey guys, welcome to this video on Chiron in Cancer. If you have Chiron in Cancer in your natal chart in astrology, this video is for you. I'm Cassandra, the Saffron Sage, helping you use astrology to evolve. And first we're going to talk about Chiron, the myth of it. We'll talk about the meaning in astrology and what it means to have Chiron in the sign of Cancer. So you can always hit the timestamp below to go straight to whatever section of the video you want to see most. So Chiron in astrology is the wounded healer. Chiron in mythology was a centaur, half man, half horse. He was known as the best centaur. He was known for his medicinal knowledge and his ability to heal. He was taken under his wing by Apollo because his mother abandoned him when he was young for what he looked like. So really, we see the wound happen in the story. Originally, that wound of abandonment. Now, not everyone's Chiron is abandonment, but the idea that you are not good enough in this respect. In Chiron's respect, it was his appearance. But what happened, he ended up being able to heal because of that wound. If his mother hadn't left him, he never would have been trained in medicine. So Chiron can be a place in our chart where we are more likely to be able to heal other people because we know the suffering that it took. You know, we know what other people go through. We know how bad it is. And how much we heal or how we choose to heal, that is really up to us. And it can take many different forms. So then Chiron ended up getting shot with a poison arrow and he couldn't heal himself. He tried. And he ended up choosing to give up his immortality because he was immortal. So he chose to give that up for Prometheus's freedom, and he ended up being placed among the stars. And that is how the story goes. And so really the theme that we see, what Chiron means in the natal chart, is it's a place where we have a restriction, something that we feel like we're blocked to, and also where energy is poured into it. So it's not just simply an obstacle in our life, but an obstacle in our life, a wound that continues to be activated whenever that pattern comes up until we choose to be aware of it and then consciously dismantle it. So Chiron really does take some conscious work. And, you know, some of you watching this may have already come far on your Chiron wound. Some people learn this just through their life experience. The best way to use this video is to take what resonates and leave the rest, because I'll be giving kind of the most extreme cases for Chiron, and it's up to you to see, you know, where you fall on that spectrum, whether it is totally to the extreme or maybe just some of those energies. So that's important in every video because these are general, and to get more specific, we'd have to look at, you know, the house your Chiron is in, what the aspects to Chiron are, to really see the full picture of how the Chiron story shows up in your life. So let's move on to the video. So if you have Chiron in Cancer, the wound here is to your own sense of emotional security, feeling unsupported in life by other people, okay? So feeling unsupported in life by other people. So you can always go to one extreme or the other with this placement. So the first way is to avoid intimacy altogether, because that feeling that no one's going to support me is so strong that I'm so sure it will never happen that I don't even want to take the chance, because it's too hard to try. It's too painful to let people in and then risk that they might not be there for me. So I'm going to protect myself by keeping my connections with people at arm's length. Another way this placement can show up is by like being a social justice champion for other people, is really showing up and rallying support for others. Now, this isn't wrong necessarily, but it can become an imbalance when you are supporting others, but you are not getting the support you need. Sometimes the supporting other people can be part of the healing journey, where we can give people the support we wish we had. But sometimes it can be more of a unconscious knee-jerk reaction to the lack of support we got, and we're not necessarily like moving down the road of healing in our life. We're just, it's almost a way to keep ourselves from having to deal with that problem because we're over here helping someone else. So if we are, if you have Chiron in Cancer and you find that you relate to that, it's important to really check in with yourself to make sure you're allowing yourself to have a sense of support while you're supporting others. Or else Cancer placements tend to get burned out a lot. A lot of people with strong Cancer placements will end up going into a field like nursing, where burnout is just kind of part of what everyone experiences, or even like social work. So then it's like their burnout becomes normal because everyone else, everyone in this field does that. And it just, they're naturally caring and supportive of other people. Another way this can show up in manifestation of the Chiron wound is through being a little bit too supportive of other people. So really wanting to kind of be everyone's mommy and nurture them and support them and just smother them with love and share whatever you have with them and take care of them. But the problem here is that sometimes you're giving them help they don't even need. That desire to be supported, sort of the wires get crossed a little. And again, they pour it into supporting other people. Now, the benefit here is that people with this placement can be insanely supportive and emotionally nurturing and wonderful. But the challenge is if it's out of balance, you can end up, again, giving people support they don't even want, because it's almost like you're projecting your need for support onto everyone else. And so if that's the case, the path to overcoming that side of it is to really learn what other people need, learn how to tell whether someone needs support or not. So this can also show up in like rescuing people, or like just going over the top to help others, and doing it in a way where you're just like pouring yourself into them and not having any kind of boundaries with that or limits. And again, that can lead to burnout or other challenges in relationships. Another way this can manifest is simply being a little bit more demanding or needing more attention, more emotional security in your relationships. So that can be your work relationships or your friendships, your family relationships, where you kind of just need them. You just need people. You want someone to validate your emotions. You want people to be there for you. And that need can be really, really strong in your relationships. So then the opposite side is it's not safe to express my emotions because nobody cares, right? Feeling like almost like jaded especially in personal relationships, especially in relationships that would mirror a parental relationship, because you felt like you never got that support or nobody cared how you felt. And so it can show up like that, like no one cares how I feel anyway. Why should I even say how I feel? And then also, Cancer really is about expressing our emotions and intimacy and allowing that emotional expression. It's both of those things. It's being the person who nurtures your own emotions and being okay with them, but then also being okay with the emotions of other people. So there's a block here to this ability to allow and nurture your own emotions. So in another extreme case, someone could become a workaholic and totally avoid their emotional landscape completely and just like dive into their work and never feel their emotions. The thing is, they're probably still going to feel their emotions though, because you have this placement in Cancer. So it's like you still have them. You're just kind of avoiding that they exist because it's too hard to deal with it. And so learning how to allow yourself to have your own feelings, learning when and how to express those feelings, especially in situations that make you feel vulnerable, and then being able to really nurture and be there for other people in their emotional expression. So letting it be okay how other people feel. This is an amazing gift of Chiron and Cancer, is that you can really show up and hold space for people's emotions in a very, very powerful way, because you know how hard it is. You know how much it hurts when people don't do that for you. So the potential here is to practice really being vulnerable, practice intimacy when it comes to the expression of emotions, and really allow that energy in a way that is healthy and supportive and balanced. So for the person who maybe has been too reliant on others for their emotional well-being, it's bringing it back to being there for your own self, learning how to support yourself emotionally so you don't show up needing quite as much on an emotional level from the people around you. So part of this healing path can also be learning to see and dismantle the ways that you have set up mechanisms to protect yourself from intimacy, and being willing to dismantle those at your own pace and get to a place where you can feel like I can express myself, I can be vulnerable, and yet it doesn't feel like the end of the world. Learning that you don't really need other people to validate you, learning how to validate your own emotions and be so okay with your own emotions that, you know, even if the whole world was like, no, it's not okay to feel that way, you would still be okay feeling that way. Really, there's a lot of emphasis with this placement on coming to terms with your own emotions and learning what you need to feel emotionally secure and giving yourself that. Being the one who gives yourself that instead of being the one who is seeking that. And so again, the potential here, there's a huge potential with this placement to be there for other people, be this emotional rock, emotional force to be reckoned with for others when you have that experience of being so strong in the core of who you are and knowing what you need, knowing what is right for you, and being able to express that in whatever ways you choose and have that healthy relationship with the energy of vulnerability. So that is what I have for Chiron in Cancer. Let me know in a comment below, guys, if you relate to this, if it resonates. I love hearing from you. You can also hit that bell and the subscribe button to get more videos like this. And you can book a private reading with me in the link below, and I will see you all in the next video.